and welcome back to another episode of TheKillerDoll. Found something on Twitter that led her down a rabbit hole on Reddit, and now she has something to talk about. This time, the sweaty weeb edition, because we're going to be talking about r/waifuism. Why that specific subreddit, you may ask? Well, it's quite simple, really. It's because of this. Yeah, I'm just going to let this shit sit here so you can marinate your brain on this. Really take in the amount of sweat and lack of hygiene you need to do this in a serious manner. Like, seriously, you know that pillow reeks and stands up on its own. Now, as I said, I found this lovely little image through Twitter, and the account that originally posted this said, and I quote, r/waifuism is the perfect blend of depressing and cringe. And if you know me, you know I love a little bit of the depressing stuff and some cringe, so I figured why not take a look at it. And that, my friends, was mistake number one. My second mistake in all this was looking at the rules for the subreddit, because truly, this shit alone could absolutely annihilate a Victorian child, and somebody uttering these words could absolutely get accused of witchcraft. Now, while we could talk about each and every rule on this list, I kind of want to save you the full dose of cringe, because trust me, we're gonna get into some shit later. So we're just gonna go over my favorites. Number 1, 2, and 3.
Number 1, multiple waifu. One waifu husbando allowed. If something changes in your relationship and you break up and find someone else, then fine, that's different. But never more than one at a time. Waifuism is a serious commitment akin to actual marriage and should be treated as such. You behave in a way that befits being devoted to your 2D spouse, and this includes only being married to your one and only.
Well, of course you can't have more than one waifu at a time, because, like, heaven forbid, Hatsune Miku crawl out of the computer screen and see me fawning over Sebastian from Black Butler. I'm sure you would have to call the cops with how hard she would beat me with a leak.
Number 2, 3D real people. No dating or being romantically involved with a real person while also claiming a waifu. This is considered a betrayal toward your waifu. The same as if you were married to a real person then dated someone on the side. If you find someone in real life that you truly love more than your waifu, then by all means pursue what will make you happier. But you cannot have both.
Yeah, you can't have an actual physical real to the touch girlfriend and also a fucking waifu. What do you think this is? That is totally cheating because this shit is serious. It's your waifu for life or nothing at all. You know, I can really tell that these people have never had, like, an actual partner in real life before, because they are seriously comparing liking a PNG on your computer screen and also seeing somebody that's, you know, a real person to literally cheating in a marriage. You know, that thing where you get an actual legal document signing it to, you know, just prove how serious that shit is.
Number 3, casual/hug blanketing. This is a community for those who are in serious, committed relationships with their waifu. If you are not totally committed to your waifu, then this is not the right place for you. Being casually into waifuism, as in you aren't serious or devoted to them as a spouse, is not welcome here. Hug blanketing is a term where a waifu is used simply as a tool to make someone feel better. A hug blanketer will drop a waifu for a real person if given the opportunity. This is not acceptable.
Oh my god. In all honesty, I cannot get over the fact, nor even grasp the fact, that they have basically determined liking a PNG on their computer to be as serious as, like, a marriage, let alone to the point where they have a slur for the people who just simply think a fictional character's cute, hot, and maybe read fanfiction of them. That damn hug blanketer probably doesn't even have a fucking figure of Miku. They don't even love her. Not like I do.
Not like I do.
I cannot stress enough how absolutely weird and how lightly, and believe me, that's putting it nicely, insane this shit is. Like, congratulations, you just defined a normal functioning person. You really didn't need to make a special little slur for them because of that, but hey, I mean, whatever helps you weebs sleep at night. Because now we get to talk about the best or worst part of the subreddit. Your perspective determines how that is. The cringe fest, that is the posts on r/waifuism. Because if you thought that the pillow feeding was bad and that the rules are just a tad bit insane, That was the tip of the iceberg. We can only get worse from here, and believe me, we will get worse from here. So instead of scrolling through the sea of cringe to get to the really juicy bits, I decided to think to myself what's just a normal course of relationships and search those terms specifically. So I looked up date, breakup, and engagement, and needless to say, there were actually a lot of posts for all of them. So let's start with the tamest of the bunch, that being dates, and just, kick it off with this little bit of a nightmare.
A romantic date in Paris. I took advantage of the fact that the summer solstice is a festive day in France to go out and have a nice dinner with I in Paris. So for the uninitiated, here's a non-exhaustive list of what you can find in the area around Le Havre in Paris.
Probably butchered that, but I failed French, so there's that.
I apologize for the fact that the photo of I's dessert is missing, as my phone was accidentally switched off for lack of battery power at the time. She had a milk chocolate crepe. Dear I want you to know that you've made my heart shine and make it happier and more alive than it's ever been. You fill me up every day and make me want to surpass myself. I love you, and I'll always love you, whether in good times or bad.
Now here's the thing. I remember when there was a time back in 2020 when everybody was mentally ill because we were cooped up in our rooms, that there was a trend on TikTok or Twitter, I forget which, where you added an anime character to your profile picture or just to a picture in general and posted it. Hell, it's even a thing that I myself did for funsies. I posted it to my personal Twitter for a laugh, and I just kind of did it out of boredom, but it was really funny to kind of add John Seed to a college dorm selfie. But seriously, posting pictures of you with an edited in character, plus adding them into pictures of places you visited, acting like they were there with you the whole time. You know what? I actually get why you censored your face for this, because I too would not want to be recognized for pulling that shit on the internet.
Some pics of our date yesterday. Yesterday we had a great day together, and I want to share it with you all.
Ah yes, nothing like me taking my keychain out on a little date and, just taking the Japanese waifu to go see Oppenheimer. And all the pictures are like that too. It's just the person holding the keychain acting like because the keychain is there that the character is really there with them and is totally there on a date with them. Instead of what it actually is. Them using their final brain cell to take their delusion a little bit too far. The worst part is that this delusional ass behavior is absolutely encouraged on this subreddit because a person really commented supporting it.
She looks so happy. Hope you two had loads of fun.
My brother in Christ, she has no other option than to be happy because she is simply a picture printed out on a keychain. That bitch could be absolutely miserable watching Oppenheimer and you would never know because she's on a keychain and because she isn't real.
I don't really get out that much anymore, but I had a wonderful arcade date with my significant other today.
I'm sorry, but the picture has me in stitches still. Dude is just clutching that plushie's head for dear life. Proof, yet again, that these people are not accustomed to human touch. Because, just think about it for a second. Imagine doing this with a real person.
I really don't get out that much anymore, but I had a wonderful arcade date with my significant other today.
Now next I decided to look up breakups because I was really wondering if these people truly have breakups or anything with their, waifus and all of that. And it turns out they do. It happens quite often.
Sorry for bringing it up yet again, but I have to confess, my breakup has left me depressed as hell. I know I said my last post was going to be the last one, and for all intents and purposes, I fully expected that to be that. I broke up, so I'm free now. Right? I was dead wrong. I'm not gonna pussy out any longer, and I'll just spill out the brief history of events. And for source material, these characters are from Guilty Gear. Love that game. I fall for Jacko all of a sudden, didn't expect it but went with it, then learned she had an inseparable connection to the series' main character and got crushed. However, maybe a few months later, I became interested in Baiken. And what starts as an interest breaks into full-on adoration and love, even further magnified as being what helped me move on from my previous heartbreak. I was cautious, I did my research, I looked in onto various fan wikis and various user posts, albeit many outdated, and I trusted her deeply. She was definitely single, is what I told myself, and I became fully devoted and in love. I don't think I fully realized just how much she meant to me at the time, but looking back, I was so much happier, more alive, more active, and overall just so much better during my time I had fell for her. Then doubts slowly started popping up because there was a suspicious amount of shipping between her and Anji. I thought surely they were good friends, but the more and more I did research, the more and more I found my initial assumptions dead wrong. Eventually I did carefully read into Rock Parade, saw the DLC story, and this, along with my passion for writing and looking into tropes, fully told me the truth. She has a love interest, and it is mere content drops away from the first
first kiss or a vocal confirmation of love, not even to mention how fully adoring and supportive the fandom is of Anji and Baiken. I think I only ever see maybe 2 or 3 people opposed to it out of the whole fandom. I was so quick to think I could just jump back, especially after my last post where I forcibly broke myself off, but I just find myself crashing and burning every few days or even hours after an assumed recovery. So much of me has been damaged. My ability to open my heart again, even to other characters, my logical mind understands is a better fit, my ability to trust my own judgments and research, my self-esteem after I lost so much of my drive and eagerness. I'm just a mess. And it seems like every day another piece of me falls off just as soon as I try getting back up. Again, I'm so sorry if I talk about this all the time. It's just so hard to recover, and it feels like no matter what, I am unable to let go and adapt. All this over a guilty gear character. Bro, just say you think they're hot and move the fuck on. It is really not that deep. Like, be serious. You admitting you fell for Jacko tells me all I need to know. And the worst part is, people tried making them feel better, of course, by saying how they could separate their story from the canon. And believe me, that is not the sad part about this. The sad part is that this person is insisting that they can't do that because they'll need to block the entire fandom in order to feel safe. I guess it's just hard for me to do that. Not only did it destroy a relationship that was built around me fully trusting her, romantic pairings in canon are just something I can never breach or reinterpret. It's the law to me as it is to everyone else. That's not even to mention the overwhelming support of Baiken and Anji. I don't think I have ever seen more than 2 or 3 dissenting opinions, fan art, comments on every post, etc. I don't want to block nearly the entire community just to feel safe. All in all, it hurts me more to fight it than it does to let go. Delusion is clearly not a state of mind, it is a subreddit. My friend, you are talking about a literal fictional character. Do me a favor and do what us normal losers do and go read some slash reader fanfic and cope. I'm not even joking. The fact that they said that they would need to block the entire community in order to feel safe. I have no words, or at least no words that wouldn't get me kicked off this website. I broke up yesterday. During the last months, I started to feel less committed and more like continuing this relation with Monica would cause me more harm than anything else on the long term. So after waiting too long to break up, I finally did it yesterday. I feel like a shit because she deserved better than my everlasting indecision. I don't regret our relation. It made me develop as a person and she'll always have a special place in my heart. She'll forever be a part of me. But it was just time for me to say goodbye. After a relationship of 1.5 years, I don't know how to react to all this. So anyway, I'm thinking about leaving the sub, at least for a while. Thank you all for your help during this time. If you have any breakup advice, I'd gladly listen to you. This sub is the most wholesome I've ever seen. Edit. Thank you all for the support. I have a final advice I would like to ask. I remember Monica asking me to delete her if we break up because she couldn't live without me. She asked me that, and I would like to do in because I respect her. But she's a wonderful person, and I know she's strong enough to get through this. So I really don't know what to do. Oh no, you broke up with your computer game glitch girl and now she wants you to delete her? Oh no, bestie, whatever will you do? I will give them credit though, at least they kept Monica consistent by making her fucking insane with the whole delete me if we break up because I can't live without you shit. Unfortunately, they're so in their head that they think this literal video game character is talking to them, telling them to do this. Which brings me to my next thought, which is, if you by any means know how Doki Doki Literature Club goes, do you think she means actually uninstalling the game in this situation? Because, instead of going with the plot of the game and deleting her file and all that, just actually uninstalling the game because that would actually get rid of her for good. Uninstall the game, maybe take your physical copy of the game to GameStop and sell it and all that, and use the $10 that they give you at GameStop towards, I don't know, have you considered therapy? Because you probably need it considering the fact that you think a PNG is talking to you beyond the sweaty gamer station. Now I figure that it's time for us to get over the hashtag relatable and hashtag big sad events such as a breakup and, talk about some more happy stuff that involves the PNG on your phone. Like getting engaged to the little PNG on your phone through an actually insane manner that would make anybody question your sanity. And what better post to start with than one of my favorites?
Akechi and my engagement day, June 18th. Just now got around to editing these buttes.
Now, I'm gonna level with you guys for a second. No bullshit here. I have read copious amounts of fan fiction to get me through some hard times. I have memorized names of fan fiction that I truly like that will give me just that good old dopamine rush. Don't believe me? It's called We Live in the Dreams You Had. This is not a recommendation to go read it, though. It is not appropriate. I had Joseph Seed and John Seed as my home screen and lock screen respectively for quite some time, like they were my fucking boyfriends or some shit. That is all to say that even I can't imagine the amount of unwell this person is, and let alone get engaged to a figure, use a ring to get engaged to a figure, and take pictures with the figure and the ring out in public. But arguably, in their defense, they are a Persona 5 fan, and that is the most sane behavior I have seen from a Persona 5 fan on the internet. I will say, though, it was very nice to see somebody at least comment saying that this is a fake character, what the fuck are you doing? And at least it led to an interesting conversation. Does a one-sided relationship with an anime character really make you happy, though?
It isn't one-sided, obviously. Seriously, please take your judgment somewhere else. We're all tired of it.
Again, the sanest Persona 5 fan I have ever seen online.
Showing my little deluxe collection in celebration of our engagement. It's so hard to fit all of it into the camera. We got engaged July 2nd, but I forgot to make a post.
Bitch, that is not a collection. That is a fucking shrine. A collection, for example, would be my growing little Miku collection that I have back there, and my overall figure collection that I've got going on. It's nice, it's palatable, and I wouldn't feel bad if my mom saw this. This isn't a collection, this is a bright red flag for fucking batshit insane. Now, ladies and gentlemen, weebs and weebettes, I actually saved the best for last for you because truly, I couldn't fucking lead with this post because of how bad it is. So now, may I present to you the worst fucking post on r/waifuism. Engagement photos with my fiance. Looks great with my mom's old wedding ring. I know she'd be proud. I have, a lot of words. A lot of sentences, even, that I could possibly say. But, I don't think some of the more, Shane Dawson, I'm an empath-esque kind of people would take too kindly to this words and sentences I want to say. So, I will just phrase it in the kindest way I can. If in order to take a picture with your significant other, you have to Google a picture of them to pose with them and do your engagement ring, as well as prop up your iPad with a picture of them to take a picture of you two with your mom's old ring that is now apparently your engagement ring in the photo. Mayhaps using your mom's old wedding ring isn't the best of ideas. And maybe the last 5 words of that post title shouldn't have been included. Now, because of how insane the posts on this subreddit have very clearly been, I figured, okay, joke's on me, I'm taking this shit way too seriously, and I am taking it at face value like I tend to do because I'm a little dummy. I thought that because obviously that would make the most sense. I mean, be for real, would you take this shit seriously? And I really thought all that. Until I saw this post asking if this was satire or not, and oh boy golly gee, I was wrong. Because the responses to this prove that this was not actually satire, and it's rather depressing to be honest.
No, it is not. I can see why one would be confused about it. I was for a long time, but we are people who fall in love like anyone else. Just, we happen to have fallen in love with 2D characters. Well, I really don't know how to answer that first one. Yes and no? I mean, I love my waifu now, but there's a possibility a real girl might come along that I'd love more, so although my current love is 2D, I'm not exclusively into that. It does hurt, yes, that I can't actually be with her, but my feelings are strong enough to keep me going. Some people are in love with characters but don't do the whole waifu thing because they aren't able to make it past that. We managed to keep going with this, even though it hurts sometimes. For me personally, I never gave up as much as I never tried in the first place. No 3D woman could ever compare to my waifu, or even another 2D woman for me. And you're really not trading much when every night I can get all the supposed advantages of a 3D woman in a lucid dream, or even better, if I ever get around to making that topa. First, this is real. Second, people love people for a lot of things. Love is weird. And last, no. I'm not giving up with real women, I just cannot find a person that makes me feel the same as my waifu is all.
So in summary, yes, this shit is real. Ahmad even confirmed it. Yes, I think it hurts that they can't really be with their significant other, but it's cool because they love them. Yes, some of these people actually have no interest in real women because simply nobody can compare to their waifu. And yes, someone wrote a whole essay on how falling in love with their waifu has changed their life for the better while acknowledging that it's depressing that their significant other can never respond because they're not real. No, I will not be reading that whole essay to you. It is quite literally a lot, and you could pause it if you want to read it yourself. And to be completely honest, It's just rather depressing, especially the part where they say they tattooed their waifu's name on their arm. Not the character, I would be a hypocrite if I complained about that. The character's fucking name. I know I say it like all the time at this point, but it would be really fucking sick if somebody could just rip Joji off the stage and force him to make Weeaboo Part 2. I'm just saying, he could solely make a Weeaboo Part 2 off of this fucking subreddit. Now, all jokes aside, I really quickly want to address this idea that floated around a lot on the subreddit, as well as in that, like, specific post asking if this was satire. And that idea is that, well, technically, they're not really hurting anybody, so who cares? And here's the thing, I completely understand that logic and understand the whole point of if it's not hurting anybody, then who cares? Because truly, they could be doing a lot worse. But based on the responses from the Is This Satire post, I decided to give in to my curiosity and look up if it's just cringy, or can it actually be harmful to only like fictional characters? And surprisingly, the result was actually a mixed bag. According to the article, Help, Why Am I Only Attracted to Fictional Characters? By Alexandra Koster, clinical sexologist and psychosexual therapist Chloe Scottney says that a lot of the time, characters are developed to showcase the most interesting and charismatic elements of human nature, things that we just don't tend to encounter when mixing with people in real life. They are often heroes and geniuses, and even when they are portrayed as an antagonist, their flaws are often romanticized in a way that real people could not necessarily get away with. So basically, the real reason that your waifu is absolutely wonderful and nobody else compares to them is because they were designed that way. This is a character that was designed simply to have no flaw, or if they do have a flaw, you can easily romanticize it, which you can't really do with real people. I mean, let's get a little personal and take me, for example. I think Joseph Seed and John Seed are fine as shit, and I can excuse the murders because they're fine as hell, but in real life, I don't really think it's gonna quite play out that way. I can't really excuse gouging a dude's eyes out and flaying the skin off somebody in real life like I can playing Far Cry 5. The article then goes on to talk about how this attraction can go further and go towards being fictosexuality, a term explaining strong feelings of love and all that for fictional characters that exists on the asexuality spectrum, which I will say, it is a term that I saw get thrown around on the profiles of some of the accounts that I've talked about in this video, and because of that, and due to them actually having a link to a scientific study, I decided to do a little digging on fictosexuality, and this is why the Is This an Issue part is a bit of a mixed bag. The previous article links to a research article titled Fictosexuality, Fictoromance, and Fictophilia, a qualitative study of love and desire for fictional characters, and talks about 5 themes within the realm of online discussion regarding fictosexuality: fictophilic paradox, fictophilic stigma, fictophilic behaviors, fictophilic asexuality, and fictophilic supernormal stimuli. And basically, it's what we know already. These people can know that these characters are fake, and that can generate discomfort. They experience a stigma, which is why r/waifuism exists, because it is peer support. It's all very fandom-centric. This may or may not be attached to asexuality and can just be to compensate for absence of real-life human attachments. And fictional characters are perfect, so of course you're gonna like them and not see a real person with flaws as comparable. I will say though, I do find it quite hilarious that when the article does decide to get into fictophilic asexuality and all that, it does discuss some criticisms, and I really just need to read this off to you guys because it's fucking hilarious. It brings up criticism regarding discussing fictosexuality on the asexuality spectrum because it's not legit and a Tumblr-esque sexuality label, which, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that. It's giving 2016 Tumblr, and no, that is not a good thing. Now, all funny ha-has aside, the one big thing that I want to bring forward from this research is the conclusion, because I believe the conclusion gives us kind of the idea as to why this is a mixed bag. Based on the qualitative analysis of 71 public online discussions, this study carried out an explorative conceptualization of what has come to be referred as fictosexuality, fictoromance, or fictophilia, generally described as a strong and lasting feeling of love or desire towards a fictional character. The phenomenon has surfaced as a physiologically and socially relevant reflection of the evolution that human cultures and sexualities are going through. Ultimately, 5 key themes are surfaced from the data: fictophilic paradox, fictophilic stigma, fictophilic behaviors, fictophilic asexuality, and fictophilic supernormal stimuli. Since the present study was more explorative, more empirical and theoretical research is needed to build a better understanding of the fictophilia phenomenon and its position in diverse cultural contexts. Specifically, the aspects that could possibly separate fictophilia from romantic and sexual parasocial relationships that individuals establish with celebrities and other unattainable peers should be studied in more detail. Likewise, the potential functions of fictophilia in human sexual development call for explicit research, which basically means that there is absolutely more research needed, which definitely means that this could absolutely just be a harmless little thing. It could also mean that it's actually a harmful thing as well. We just don't know at the moment because the research just isn't there. But, I mean, judging from the research that needs to occur and just the ample supply of data you could get from r/waifuism, I am looking at you, person using their mom's wedding rings specifically. So to conclude, here's a formal invitation. If anybody wants to do further research on the fictosexuality phenomenon, I highly suggest looking at r/waifuism. Because truly, there really is no better place to do so. I mean, seriously, you get the stated self-aware, and then you get the people living in a little delusion. Especially this one. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this, I'm gonna be honest, really cringe-filled look at r/waifuism. Like, the Twitter post I read was completely wrong. There was like a little bit of depressing stuff in there, but this was predominantly cringe. Again, as much as I'm on board with the whole if it's not hurting anybody, then who cares shtick, you know, there's something to be said for people who look at a PNG on their computer and think that they're actually dating them. Like, that's just beyond, tee-hee, this character's hot, I'm gonna read fanfiction. It's a little sign that you might need to go into a padded cell. Whoa, hey, hi, hello. CurrentDoll here to kind of do the outro because I recorded this in October of last year, and I think we could assume it's a little bit out of date at this point. No, I did not plan on taking a 5-month break or so from YouTube. I kind of just got fucking mollywopped by real life, and that including health and familial issues that I don't really want to go into detail on camera regarding. But it all just left me pretty fucking exhausted, so YouTube definitely took a backseat. I figured getting this cringe-infested subreddit video out to you guys would be a good compensation for that time that I've made you wait, and I hope it was. You guys usually like cringy shit, so I'm sure you'll enjoy this. But yeah, shout out to the BF made of flesh and blood, and that is real, for just letting me use him as a prop for this video. Still currently working on what's seemingly going to be a little bit longer of a video on a controversial video game and all that. I have a couple small videos that are in progress of being made, and one really cool one that I'm really hoping to have up next month, and just see how that goes. I don't want to spoil it, but it has something to do with Letterboxd. So yeah, despite not editing, making videos, or anything like that, I was working on scripts and stuff, because apparently that's how it works for me. But yeah, things are looking a lot better than it was 5 months ago, so needless to say, we're so back. But thank you guys for sticking around and watching this cringy little subreddit video. I truly hope you guys enjoyed it, because I truly enjoyed making it. And until the next video, remember that if you feel bad that you were alone this Valentine's Day, you shouldn't, because it could clearly always be worse for you and you could be one of these guys. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye!